This is Outdoor Living Supply Academy, where we cover all topics related to the outdoor living industry. So today's topic is an interlocking pavement system, where I'm going to introduce you to the 6 components that make up the system to create a successful project. In future videos, we're going to take each one of those components and look at them in detail and break them down into their function and installation processes. So component number 1 is the soil subgrade. This actually provides the foundation and support for the other components. The best material for your soil subgrade is sands and gravels, although you can build on clays and loams as long as you understand that you might have some special needs, and we'll cover that later in the series. Component number 2 is the geotextile, and it's primarily used as a soil separation fabric to make sure that the soil subgrades don't intermix with the base aggregates. So that is again, we'll cover in detail later in the series. Then we get into the base materials, and industry standard, our base materials are a dense graded aggregate like you see here. But the industry as a whole is starting to lean towards open graded aggregates. And again, later in the series, we're going to get into what the different functions of that material are and where might be the best choices to use them. Then we get into bedding sand for the next component. And bedding sand is typically a washed concrete sand. And if you don't know what kind of sand your quarry has, the technical specification for it is ASTM C33. Another option that we're starting to see the industry move towards is a chip stone. It's more coarse than typical wash sand, but still has a nice bedding capability. The next component after the bedding sand is really the pavement surface itself. And you can have any number of choices of materials for the pavement surface, from concrete pavers to porcelain to natural stone, and pretty much anything in between. So we're going to cover in this series the selection of your pavement surface and where it's going to work best under what type of functions. And with that, we'll also talk about the joint sand that is going to go in between each of the individual units. And the last component is the edge restraint. And there's a number of different types and kinds of edge restraint that you can use. Again, very specific to whatever type of function your pavement is going to have, whether it has a lot of vehicular traffic or just pedestrian traffic on it, whether it's a large format pavement or maybe a thin veneer stone like a porcelain. So we'll get into that again in detail later on. Thank you for joining us at Outdoor Living Supply Academy. Make sure you tune into the next video in our Pavement System series, where we'll cover component 1 in detail, soil subgrades. For further information or any additional questions, please refer to the link and email listed below.